While making this video, an innocent FPV camera met a tragic end. I have to say I wasn't the one responsible for this, so make sure to stay tuned until the end to find out who's to blame for this awful thing that happened to this poor camera. I'm really frustrated with this pack of 4 lithium-ion cells from the Wisdom App brand. I recently put together this 4S pack to power my FPV video transmitter for my RC buggy. Just to clarify, these cells aren't really meant for this purpose, but I figured powering a VTX wouldn't be too much of a strain, right? However, I ran into 2 major hiccups that had me scratching my head. First, the battery doesn't fit well in the RC car. I can only place this 4S pack on top of the 3S LiPo that powers the car. And when I put the body back on, the car seems to have some weird disability. It kind of restricts the viewing angle of the FPV camera. From this DVR recording, you can notice that the left side is lifted up. Then my second issue had me on the edge of my seat. After about 20 minutes of use, the VTX suddenly shut down. This always seemed to happen when the car was out of sight. Whenever I check the voltage on each cell, like in this case, I normally find that 2 of the cells are usually below 2 volts, while the other 2 cells are typically above 3.5 volts. This can only mean a couple of things. Either the internal resistance of the weak cells is high, or they have different capacities. So here's the game plan. First, I'm going to check the capacity of each cell because I'm planning to use cells with different capacities from Pernasonic to see if this problem happens again. The cells from Pernasonic have a higher capacity and a slightly different internal resistance. I'm also planning to figure out how to connect the 4 cells to create a 4S pack in a way that it will fit perfectly in the car without raising the body. So for the capacity test, I'm going to use my DIY capacity tester, link in the description below. For the first cell, I got a reading of 1046 milliamp hours, then the second cell showed 934, and the third one was 942. You can see where this is going. These cells are supposed to have a capacity of 1200 milliamps. Since I've charged and discharged them less than 10 times, at this point I couldn't shake the feeling that the manufacturer dropped the ball. But I'm not ready to jump to conclusions just yet. Let's see what the 4th cell has in store. In the meantime, I'm brainstorming how to tweak these Pernasonic cells to get a better fitting profile. An hour later, the 4th cell finished its test with a reading of 1025 milliamp hours. Now I know for sure that those 2 lower capacity cells are the culprits causing those dismal voltage drops after every run. The capacity difference is quite huge. This experience has firmly established that I'm done with the Wisdom App brand. Now let's pivot to how I'm crafting a new 4S pack with the Pernasonic cells. I did something similar to what I did with the earlier Wisdom App cells. I started by pairing 2 cells together, and since I'm not the brightest bulb in the neighborhood, I spent quite a while trying to figure out how to space these cells out, especially since I won't be using spot welding, which would provide a better low-profile design. Soldering lithium-ion batteries directly always gets people riled up in the comments, and I'm sure this part of the video is gonna trigger at least one person. Honestly, I'm not sure I can explain how to arrange these cells like I did for the previous 4S pack, because I have no idea what the final product will look like yet. Before I end up gluing everything down for good, I remember someone saying it's smart to double check the connections by taking some readings while there's still a chance to fix any mistakes. So I'm gonna use this Hobby Tiger charger, which can handle both LiPo and lithium-ion cells. Though I didn't have it at the start of the video, hopefully it will be useful now. So far everything looks good and the connections seem right. I decided to go with these battery holders because I figured they would keep the cells more secure, especially since I'm not stacking them like I did before. Plus they will help manage the wires, which I'm a bit clueless about when it comes to securing them at this point. To ease my mind, I filled in the empty spaces with foam so I can actually sleep at night without stressing about the cells short-circuiting and causing a fire or anything worse. This time I'm putting the tape on the inside instead of the outside, and I'll use heavy-duty shrink tubing as the outer casing. And before I seal everything up, I definitely need to double-check the connections one last time. Now here's the scoop on the new design. While it doesn't win any beauty contests, I'm confident it will fit snugly without lifting the body of my buggy. I might have made it a bit too long, so fingers crossed it fits on the battery tray. All the wires seem to be tucked away, but there's one that makes the pack look like it has a spine. Overall, I'm happy with how it turned out. Next up, testing how this Pernasonic pack performs and fitting it onto my buggy. Let the excitement continue. The new pack is a bit longer, so let's see if it fits or if I wasted my time. Surprisingly, it fits just right on top of the 3S pack, despite being a little longer. Now it's time to tear up some tires. The FPV setup worked for over an hour, but before wrapping things up to check the voltage on each cell, my wife accidentally crashed it off camera and seriously messed up the camera. I guess this gives me a solid excuse to buy a new RC car without her nagging me about spending too much on this hobby. And checking the voltage, I gotta say, these new Pernasonic cells are way better than the Wisdom App ones. So I decided to check if this new 4S battery could actually run the RC car, since there was still a lot of juice left in it, especially with the FPV camera being damaged. But the car was crawling along at only 1 mile an hour. The ESC can handle up to 150 amps, so it should totally be fine with 4S power, right? Does this mean the Pernasonic cells have a cutoff, or is the ESC detecting a lack of enough power coming from this pack? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for sticking around till the end. If you thought this video was cool, maybe think about subscribing.